Hey, what's up everybody? This is Clayton Gonsalves with Go Analytics, and today we're talking about the integration of Power BI and PowerPoint. So let's go. Hey, welcome to our YouTube channel. If you're finding us for the first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notifications to stay up to date on all of our data visualization and data analysis videos. All right, so today we're talking about the integration of PowerPoint and Power BI, something that Microsoft has dubbed the storytelling with PowerPoint. Released in May 2022, storytelling with Power BI is another one of those reasons why you might choose Power BI over other data visualization tools. This Power BI integration allows users to tell data stories in the familiar embrace of PowerPoint and with live and interactive data. The integration of Power BI and PowerPoint takes your data presentations to a whole new level, allowing you to slice and dice your data and answer those crucial questions for decision making in real time. No more, I'll look into that and get back to you. What we're talking about here is the ability to connect to a live Power BI report page as if you were in the Power BI service, except that you're working with it inside of PowerPoint. Whether you are in edit mode or in presenter mode, you will be able to drill down and drill through so that you can present insights in a dynamic and engaging way. Okay, by now you should be convinced that this is a pretty sweet integration and you're probably pretty excited to get started with it. So let's head on over to my laptop and I'll show you how to do that. Adding a live Power BI report page is an easy process that begins with getting the URL to the desired report page. You can get the URL in three different ways. So I have this report here, and there's three different ways that I can use to get the URL. The first and simplest way is just to copy it from the address bar here. So I could just select this and hit Control-C on my computer and copy that. One of the limitations with this method is that it will not preserve the current state of this report. So if I have made any filtering changes, changed anything within the report, it's not going to carry it over when I bring it into PowerPoint. The second method is to use the share button. So if we click on share, then we're able to choose who we want to give access to. So if I wanted to give access to only people that already have access to this report, then I can choose people with existing access and click apply. And the second thing that we need to check is whether we want to include our changes. And if I hover over this here, it basically tells us that it can keep the current state of our report as we bring it into PowerPoint. After I've selected that or deselected it, then I can just click on PowerPoint. And now I can either click copy to copy the link or open in PowerPoint to open up a brand new PowerPoint. But since I already have a PowerPoint open, I'm just going to click copy. The third method of getting the URL is by using the export button. And once you expand the export menu here, you have the option of PowerPoint. And from here, you can either choose to embed an image. So this means that it's not going to be connected to the report. It's actually just going to print out what's on the screen as an image. Or we can choose embedded live data. So this is how we would go about to bring in a live report into PowerPoint. Once they click that, it asks, there's a little option here to embed the report with the data filters that we've selected. Again, we can by default, this is selected, but we can deselect it if we don't want the report to come in the current state, and instead we want it to come into the default state. Again, we can copy the link or click Open in PowerPoint to open a brand new PowerPoint. After we copy the URL from our Power BI report in the Power BI service, we can head on over to PowerPoint and we can click on Insert and choose Power BI to bring in the Power BI add-in. Now, if you don't see this Power BI button here, you can always go to Get Add-ins and search for Power BI. And you should see it there, and you can just click add to have it in here. If you don't see it, then your administrator might have deselected this option, and you may want to talk to them if you absolutely need this. From the Power BI add-in, we have the option of entering our URL here. So I'm just going to paste it in and then click insert. And once it's loaded up, it brings everything over for us. One thing to notice here is that this is limited to one single Power BI report page. As you'll see here on the left, there isn't that left pane that allows us to toggle between pages. So that is one thing to consider. Now let's take a look at this add-in here. There's a couple things to note. The first thing is that it comes in with this toolbar at the bottom here, and it gives us a couple of things. The first thing is that it gives you your report title as well as the page name. So you might want to consider that when you're bringing it in, as well as it tells you when the data was last updated, so that you know that you always are working off of the latest data. We also have the data options menu here. So if I expand that, we have the ability to toggle the filters on and off. So right now the filters pane is on here, as you can see, but I can toggle that off, and now it's gone from our report here. There is this new data insights button that basically takes a look at your data and using some AI tries to understand some trends from it. You can also refresh the data set from here or reset to restore it to the original view. To the right of that, we have the report page options here, and this allows you to either click on Learn to go to the tips for using Power BI, or you can click Clear Data, and that will essentially reset this this Power BI add-in back to the place where you need to paste your URL again. Now this toolbar here across the bottom is allowed to be collapsed by using the down chevron here, and that essentially compacts it so that you don't see when it was last updated, but you continue to see the report title and page title here, as well as providing you a link to go directly to that report in the Power BI service. On the right hand side here, we have our filters pane. So if there were any filters here, we are able to use this to filter down our report in here. And again, keep in mind that we can always collapse that so that it doesn't show up in our report here. The last thing to consider here is that there is this little chevron here, kind of hard to see, but there are a few options here. So let's take a look at what we have when we click that button. We have the Get Support that will take you to a support page inside of Microsoft's realm of web pages. We can just select this report. We can delete the add-in using this button. We can also reload the entire report into this add-in. So if you've gone over to your Power BI report and you've made some changes and you don't see the changes in here, then clicking reload here will get you to see those changes. And then finally, you can also choose to show this as a saved image. So once I click that, then all of a sudden this is not interactive anymore. This is just an image. So as you can see, I'm hovering over some data here, nothing's happening. I click on it, nothing is happening. So this is no longer interactive. So if we want this to come back to a live data, we can always do that by going back to the button here, by going back to our button here. And unclicking this show as saved image. And then the report will reload again and it'll be interactive again for us. So as you can see now, when I hover over some data here, I can have that functionality. When working with the Power BI and PowerPoint integration, there are some licensing requirements to be aware of. And it does work exactly the same as it does in the Power BI service. So that means that if you have the Power BI Premium Capacity license, then only the report creator or the person that's sharing the report will need a license, while the person that's viewing the report inside of PowerPoint, so the person that has been shared that PowerPoint, will not need a Power BI license, except for the Power BI free license. However, if you're running on Power BI Pro or Power BI Premium per user, then both parties are going to need the license. So both the report creator or the person that's sharing that PowerPoint, as well as the person that's receiving the PowerPoint, will both need to have a license. Storytelling with PowerPoint is a seriously powerful integration between Microsoft's data visualization software and its presentation software. But as it is with all software, there are limitations and considerations. As we dove deep into this integration, there were a few things that we learned along the way, and we want to share that with you. So let's have a look at some of those things. Okay, so the first thing that we noticed here is that the resolution from your Power BI report is carried in when you bring it into PowerPoint. So that means that if you're resizing this Power BI add-in here, you might see it add some white spaces. So if I extend this over, you'll notice that all of a sudden I have this white space here and white space over here. Similarly, if I shrink it down, then all of a sudden you start to see white space here at the bottom. And this is something that you need to keep in mind, is that if you're trying to get a really tiny graphic over here, then your resolution in your Power BI report might need to be adjusted to fit that in here. The second thing that we noted here, and this is just more of a nitty-picky thing, is that the report, your Power BI add-in inside of PowerPoint, it does not currently have the ability to be transparent background. So this can kind of be limiting if you're trying to insert something into a corporate template of a PowerPoint and you're not able to use that transparent background. One thing that we found that seems to work really well in terms of disguising this limitation is to add a shape. So if we add a shape here in our report, and I'll make this shape white, and let's drop a shadow on it, and then send it to the back. Then all of a sudden this looks like it was meant to be like this, and it kind of disguises that whole not being able to have a transparent background. Another consideration is when you're bringing in a report page into PowerPoint and you want to keep the current state of your report. So let's take a look at this again. You have the ability to include my changes, which means that it's going to include any sort of filtering that you've done on this page. But if we hover over this information here and take a closer look, it explains to us that any filter selections or visual personalizations, drilling, anything like that, it creates a link to a shared view which expires in 180 days. So that means that if your PowerPoint is going to sit on a shelf for more than 180 days without any interaction with it, then it's going to revert back to the default state of your report and not necessarily in the state that you put it into your PowerPoint. So this is one thing to be really careful of if you're basically storing some PowerPoints somewhere where people aren't going to be accessing it for more than 6 months, is that your shared view is going to revert back to the default. Another thing to consider here, and this goes along with another one of those nitty-picky things, is that the report title and the page title cannot be omitted from this view. So even though I can collapse this here and have it just showing that, this is something that I can't get rid of. So this really means that when you're naming your reports and your report pages, they should be something that is professional and descriptive, because it is going to be shown to the end user once it is in a PowerPoint. Finally, the last thing to understand is that the show as saved image still allows the end users to re-click the button to connect to the live report. So, if you want to share this as an image with someone that might not have Power BI license, the limitation here is that if they're savvy enough, they can click on this little chevron and click on show as saved image. And if they don't have permission to this report or don't have a Power BI license, they will see an error page. So that's storytelling with PowerPoint. While we do list some limitations and some considerations here in this video, the truth is that this integration is absolutely magnificent. We have really enjoyed using it for presentations, as it allows us to drill deeper into the numbers and present data in a more interactive way. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click like on this video, and we'll see you in the next video.